Grace and peace, everyone. I was just listening to Aunt Lee, and that's who we have on as a guest today. Welcome to the Be Holy podcast. This is your host, Oski, and this is the podcast where we discuss everything Christian hip hop, everything connected to Christian hip hop, and of course, we're going to talk about Jesus too. Now, the Be Holy podcast is a platform where we're going to talk about Christian hip hop and the Christian hip hop artists who use their faith or take their faith and their craft seriously. We want to celebrate Christian hip hop and the artists who are using their music to influence the kingdom. Now, I created this platform because I noticed that there was a gap. There's a lot of Christian hip hop happening right now, but the stories behind the artists, their faith, their journeys, their struggles are not being told. So I'm here to pull back the curtain and basically tell the stories behind the sound. Now, every episode, we're having real conversations about faith, culture, and creativity, and to do a temperature check on Christian hip hop and what it means to be a Christian hip hop artist. We're not here to judge, we're here to celebrate and inspire. Now, the word tells us in 1 Peter 1:15 that for he who calls us is holy, so we also be holy in our conduct. So always say, be holy, live holy, and keep it holy. And we're going to keep it holy with this conversation because we have a special guest today. We have Anthony Lee, Mr. Anthony Lee, Mr. 6'9" himself. Anthony, you 6'9", right, Ant? 6'8",
Yeah,
6'9"?
man.
Okay. So Anthony Lee was a former basketball player. He started off in Maryland. He grew up in Maryland. He's traveled to Florida. He's also played overseas basketball, and he now resides in Canada, and he is pushing Christian hip hop to the max in the country of Canada, right? And I know Canada ain't too far away, but please understand the culture and everything is a lot different from the US. So we're definitely going to talk about Christian hip hop expansion, right? What it takes to basically take Christian hip hop from one region to another, trying to deal with some of the hurdles that come along with that, the process of that, and how things have been going on when it comes to that. Because Anthony Lee has been doing some amazing things. He has the Light Up the City tour. I just played one of his songs called Light Up the City. So he's really trying to push not only Christian hip hop, but he's also using this as a tool for ministry to bring those to Christ out in Canada. So Anthony Lee, I just want to thank you for joining the pod, brother. How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. What an introduction.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I'm totally grateful for you joining the pod, man. So before we get started, I always ask every person who joins my podcast this question because I believe it's vastly important. Because you know your birthday, right? You know your birthday, you don't forget your birthday. And then when people don't say happy birthday to you on your birthday, we feel a little tight. You know how it is. But I want to ask you this question. What is your born again day?
My born again day.
Yeah, that's your new birthday.
My new birthday. Man, that's sad. I don't know if you ever had anybody on there that kind of forgot the actual day. I can't give you the
Now,
day. Give you
some
the year.
people could give me the month. If you can at least give me the month and year, we'll let you slide.
Well, the actual day. The month. Okay. So the month would have to be. It was the end of May, so it was right after my birthday. That birthday was probably one of the worst birthdays I had. Um,
Mm,
it was my surrender, fully surrendered type of moment that I encountered.
mm.
Um, but yeah, that was that day. I would just say it was in the shower. I was going through a lot of stuff at that time. It was like post birthday. A couple days after that, I was going through a crazy situation. And yeah, that was it. And then I think from there, things started to just kind of get a little better and better each day. Uh,
Mm.
but yeah, it was May of 2018.
Okay. May 2018. So normally, if you don't know the date, then I'm going to say May 1st of 2018. All right. So typically, whenever somebody gives me their born again day, I want to make sure that I jot it down, make a mental note, and we're gonna have a gift for you. All right. Because we always understand that our born again day, the day that we've been regenerated, the day that we have been cleansed from our sins, for those who have believed in the finished work of the cross, for those who have believed that Jesus died and rose for the forgiveness of our sins and rose again in 3 days with all power and might, conquering sin and death. For those who believe that and now are living a born again life, and it's a beautiful thing, man. And I just always want to celebrate people's born again days, because that is the day that we have been plucked from darkness into God's marvelous light, and we have to continue to walk in the light that Jesus has basically laid out for us. So thank you for sharing that, man. But without further ado, we're just gonna go ahead and jump into it, because it look like you getting ready to work out, or you just came from a workout. I don't know, but I ain't gonna hold you up, brother. I ain't gonna hold you up, because I know you rapping and you hooping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, so we gonna go ahead and get started. So and before we really start talking about, you know, CHH expansion in Canada, can you tell the audience a little bit about your background, your upbringing, like how did you go from basketball to rap? Like, you like the reverse Master P, because Master P was rapping, then he tried to hoop, but you know, him hooping ain't really work out. You know what I'm saying? And then you got other athletes like Matt Damon, who's really good. He's a hooper, right? I guess part-time rapper too. And I've heard some songs from Matt Damon, but tell us a little bit about your story. Like, how do you go from being a overseas basketball player, or at least coming up in Maryland, you know, a preacher's kid, playing basketball? How did you make that transition? So tell us about your upbringing a little
Man,
bit.
so the transition, man, it wasn't hard because a lot of people that may not know me, I grew up in church, so I grew up loving like Kirk Franklin. I was a little director of a choir. My cousins, we made a group.
Mm-hmm.
I would travel and sing different places all over Maryland. Had a little choir I was doing it with too. Um,
Mm-hmm.
played the drums, and so once I started growing a little bit, I was always like one of the tallest people in my class growing up. Basketball
Mm-hmm.
apparently given to me because my dad loved to play, so I would go and play with him all the time. We would play. I would play with grown men um, at an early age, and just kind of knew I was gifted at that. I loved Michael Jordan, my favorite player, and so once my parents started seeing my gift grow and me having a hunger for it, they took a pause, or they before they took a pause, they started just investing more in me, try to get me in AAU and stuff like that. Because being pastors, traveling, always preaching and doing stuff like that, they didn't even know about AAU until they just saw how good I was getting. So then they started asking questions. So that's how I really got into basketball and got involved in all of those things. And rapping, man, I started doing that at 12, and that's what most people don't know. Like, I did that at 12, got in a group around 13 called KGB. I was the
Mm-hmm.
youngest group, and with two older guys, but they just liked, my passion for Christ and how I flowed. And obviously, I could rap. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know how to write things right at first. They helped me with my first rap, and then after that, it was good. But they just liked how I flowed, bro. It wasn't like it was a kid rapping. Like, I really knew how to rap and stuff
Mm.
like that style and all that. So they invited me into that, and then I kept getting good at basketball. I kept rapping, but then at the end of the day, man, I want to go to school, like go to college. So I started getting crazy scholarships. So it's like,
Mm.
you really gonna pick music over basketball? That wasn't even a question. I knew I
Yeah.
was good at it. I knew like there's probably a lot of things that I could do, but that wasn't a for sure thing. It wasn't as popular, or it wasn't as mainstream as it is now. Because if it was, it
Mm.
would have been different, possibly. I don't know. But I ended up going to school for basketball, and I just kind of kept rap um, in the back burner because I was like my way of expressing myself and my love for God through that type of art. So I still did it, but it wasn't like a big thing at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. Got you. Got you. So basically, you took the path of least difficulty, right? Because the thing about rap, man, is it's something that obviously some of us are talented in, as you said yourself. But it's when you was about you 6'5". How tall were you at the time when you started to receive scholarships?
6'7", 6'7". Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I know that's hard because people looking at you like, hey, you want to rap when you 6'7" and you hooping?
right.
So I can already tell that there was a lot of pressure coming from outsiders,
Mm-hmm.
probably influencing you. Like you probably want to take this route, and
Mm-hmm.
if the scholarships is coming, man, that's kind of a no brainer.
Right.
But it seems that rap was actually your first love, right? But because of the growth spurts, you being, starting to develop that basketball skill, I guess you kind of left rap to the back burner. So, what caused the resurgence in rap?
Man, that's when I got here to Canada 3 years ago because I thought it was put to bed. I thought it was laid to rest. I thought
Mhm.
I ever doing this again. Not because I couldn't do it, but I'm like, man, like I would really have to start from scratch. I like at this point I've been
Mm.
involved for 8 years. It's not like I've ever had anything out that was like on distribution platforms. So it's like I would have to be not a dummy, but I have to be somebody that like heard from God to do it again. But I think He used somebody else to just pose a question to me. So I started playing basketball here in Canada 2 years ago.
Okay.
I played 8 years overseas, and then my last 2 years I came here and pretty much God was telling me like, I want you to, because I asked him, I said, Lord, I want you to use me with my public figure as a basketball player in North America somehow to spread your gospel and be used in a great way. Be more than a basketball.
Mm.
So overseas is more difficult doing that, but over here in North America, I was like, man, popping. It's gonna be popping. I'll be able to network, communicate, whatever. So he opened up Canada. Came to Canada. I was got on a team here called KW Titans in Kitchener. Good team, good league.
Mm.
Money wasn't the same. That was like a big you know, questionable thing at first, but God told me that me coming here was gonna be worth more than money can buy. So I had to trust in that. I'm like, I need money.
Mm.
Maybe this is your will, right? So anyway, get to the team. I start something that they've never done. I'm like, you know what? With me being very popular in the community in this area, let me start something called Faith and Family Night. And
Faithful family life. Okay.
we did it, and we played a big arena. So had a Faith and Family Night. They allowed me to do it, and I was promoting on the radio. Somebody told me, I think it was a guy using them, and he was like, "Man, do you do music?" And I was like, "Yo, that's so crazy you saying that because I was starting to think like, man, I want to do music again." But I thought,
Mm.
but that person sparked it up. Now we're like best friends to this day. He's a pastor. He's a radio host. So that's what got me starting music again. And this was 3 years ago. Three.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome, man. So from what I'm hearing, it seems like God was kind of like putting the pieces together for you to finally make your mind up and say, okay, I think this is where God is taking me to. Now, were you like towards the tail end of your overseas career, or were you still like in the prime of it before you made that leap of faith?
Man, nah. I knew I was at the end once I committed here. Cause I'm like,
Oh, okay.
come to Canada or you come to a place that's not as big as overseas, they're not paying.
Mhm.
And if you're not averaging like 30 or whatever, if you try to go back overseas, they're gonna try to lowball you. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like you're starting over. So I kind of knew that I was winding it down. I was just trying to make the best of it while I was here. Um, so yeah, I knew. So yeah, once that happened, it was like, all right. When a person confirmed that, and God was kind of already telling me, like, He was giving me ideas about what to do here in this city, and a person actually said it. One of the things I was like, oh, okay, this must be you.
Mm.
So
Okay. Okay. Wow, that's awesome, man. So, all right, now you're starting to build your rap career in Canada. God has given you the vision. You have wrote down the vision. You said, "I'm going to go ahead and execute this." What were some of the early hurdles when it came to now bringing CHH to the country of Canada?
man, well, first and foremost, there's no real music infrastructure here.
Mm.
For Christian rap. So like in terms of like agents, labels, radio stations, they don't really play it unless it's just American.
Right,
Um,
right.
and then on top of that, there's no promotional. Um, they're not enough. There's a couple, but they only bring everybody from the states. The thing is, the
Mm-hmm.
funny part is, I'm from the states, but I realized what
Mm-hmm.
calling me to was here, so I can't like use my United States clout for anything because I'm not established. So I am just
Yeah.
else. You know what I'm saying? If I was
Yeah.
an established artist at the time, then maybe the
Mm-hmm.
promotional people that do concerts and bring concerts here from people out of the states would have been easier. But I'm still playing basketball at the time, so I'm just
Yeah.
trying.
Yeah.
But anyway, the hurdles was just knowing that like a lot of churches are kind of like uh, naive that Christian rap is even a thing. They're not
Mm.
the impact of it, and knowing that the younger generation and even people that are younger at heart still like it. So
Mm-hmm.
those were the hurdles. Those are the
Mm-hmm.
hurdles I still deal with to this day. But what gave me the confidence to start something, um, and not just recording, because I recorded like a whole mixtape in like a month. After I
Mm-hmm.
got the green light, man, it's like I had been like let out so much stuff, and I recorded a whole bunch of stuff within a month. What I found out was that me being an athlete was going to be the avenue, and God always told me that basketball was going to be the open door to other things.
Mm-hmm.
Me being tall,
Mm-hmm.
tall stature, whatever. Now rapping, it's like, oh wow, like that's that's phenomenal, or like gives off a different aura.
Mm-hmm.
So when I said I was going to do a concert, man, like I packed out the concert, my first big concert,
Yeah.
but music like that ever. As
Mm-hmm.
over 200 people. I got a young, thriving church that like loved that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I started experiencing just the struggles of like, man, like people like it, but some people in Canada they had this conservative, like keep to myself, like we do everything in a structural.
Structured, organized way.
I barely saw like any like Pentecostal or non-denominational churches that are just like, man, like look, whatever we got to do, you know,
Yeah.
that's going to bring the message of Christ to the
Yeah.
culture. Yeah, let's bring it in. Kids are already listening to secular rap at this point, so why not do
Yeah.
Christian rap? Church is not on that type of vibe. They're not on that type of time, and unless it's a conference they're doing where they bring an American artist. And that's the thing, if we got deeper into that, that's what I started to realize. They don't have this stuff on their own, but when they do like a conference, they'll
Mm-hmm.
have rappers, but they'll bring over the Christian rappers from the States and not even embrace what's trying to be built here in Canada. So
Mm. Wow, that's good, man. And that's one of the things I was thinking about, and is there isn't necessarily an infrastructure, right? So it's kind of like knowing the art, something that's never been done before. They never seen rain before, so you can kind of be a little leery and also weary as you're trying to develop this process, right? So was there any time where your faith started to kind of wane because you're doing something that in a sense has never really been done before? Like, how did you go through those moments of, all right, God, like, is this really what you want me to do?
man, can I keep it real with you? I'm
Of
going through
course, that's what we're here for.
I'm going through that right now. And I'm
Okay.
3 years. I'm three. Okay, 2024. Yeah, three. It'll be 3 years in October. 3 years in. I'm feeling
Mm-hmm.
like that right now. Right now, I just came from doing. I'm still on tour. I got 2 more dates left for this first part of the tour that I'm doing, and I just
The
came.
Light Up the City tour, right?
Yeah, I just came back from Halifax, Nova Scotia,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just like, man, like nobody knows how tough this is, and I'm questioning, man, God, like you're bringing the right people around me, but in terms of like the type of impact that you want to have, of course everybody wants it to be greater and more people in the seats, more people listening to music, but it's just like because it's not happening that way right now. And you know there's no infrastructure. Like
Yeah,
other things stacked against you than just okay, you're trying to gain fans and all that type of stuff. Because it's really about souls. You're just trying to minister and
for
bring
sure, for
Christ.
sure.
But there's a level of fanfare that comes with it. People have to like your music. People have to know about it. People, you know what I'm saying? All that other stuff.
Right.
With everything that I'm doing, it feels like it's under the radar. It's like, man, I'm struggling whether or not like you want me to keep going in this. Am I doing the right thing? Am I really
Mm,
thing? I'm trying to use godly ambition, but I don't want
sure.
God. I want you to. There has to be more nuance to this statement. But if I was just to say, God, I want you to blow me up. I want you to blow me up in Canada because you know my heart. You know what I'm trying to do. God, like just blow me up. And if there's no
Yeah,
that could sound arrogant, that could sound like worldly ambition. But I think what I'm really trying to express is that God, what you given me, what you told me in 2023, Lord God, with everything that's kind of stacked against me and with what I'm doing that is actually like kind of revolutionary in a way and how I'm doing
yeah.
it, open up the doors so it's not about even your name being known because people know who you are. And like I know there's some people, technically
Mm,
speaking, because God will come back. God won't come back until everybody knows who he is. So technically speaking, there are people that probably don't know him. But we're talking about just in North America. It's not about me trying to make your name famous. It's trying to do your will and do something in a country that has never had or it's never really been done at this level. And I want it to be done where it's your will doing it and not me, even though I want it at a different stage. And so I got to be comfortable with
yeah,
being uncomfortable and knowing that it may not even be, and that's the hard part, it may not even be for me to be the one to do it, but just breaking the ground, which is
yeah,
so tough to deal with because you're like, when you know your stuff is good, you know you're bringing something to the table.
yeah,
Sometimes it can be like that. So you got to be comfortable with God's will, even though you don't know. Like, I could be very, very close to breaking through and somebody sees
yeah.
me, or it could just be you're just a trailblazer. Started.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Sometimes you can't be the one that started, and somebody picks it up right after you. But I want to read a verse, man, to encourage you, brother. Because I like the fact that you was transparent and you was honest, and I think that's the purpose of this podcast. Because we're having real, authentic conversations. But this is Galatians 6:9. It says, "And let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart." So I just want to encourage you, man, to stay strong, brother. You doing something that a lot of us, even if God told us to do it, we probably wouldn't go ahead and do it, man. But for you to actually listen and to take up the calling from God to go out to Canada and start something that hasn't been done, if God put this vision on you, brother, he's going to make sure that it executes or it gets executed. And sometimes our expectations, right? Because we can have these unmanageable expectations. And God is like, look, you got to lower your expectations. And remember, it's my will and not your will that's going to be done. You know what I'm saying? So just stay encouraged, brother, because I'm happy to hear everything that you're doing, bro. And I'm definitely going to continue to stay locked in with all the big things that you're going to be doing for the Lord. So I want to ask you another thing because, you're doing the Light Up the City tour. You talked about how, you've done concerts, right? These are things that, again, hasn't been done before, right? So for somebody who is, what, I want to go to a different state, different city, maybe even a different country, and I'm trying to put Christian hip hop on the map. I'm trying to do certain things that haven't been done in this particular region. What are some of the challenges or some of the things that they need to think about when it comes to funding, church support, how to get venues, how to get connected with the DJs? Like, what are some of the things that they need to know in order for them to do something like you're doing?
I would say like getting to know, getting to just understand, um, just the land that you're in, getting knowledge on where you're at, and being able to
Mhm.
communicate, and connect with the people, that could lead you to some of the things that you need to know to get things started. So like just for me, and And what's funny is I feel like if you are doing something of the arts where you are a communicator, you have to get out of your comfort zone. If you don't like really talking to people, if you're just an artist and you just want to be the artist, you're trying to start something, you need to get out your comfort zone to talk to people,
Mm-hmm.
to network. Because if you don't, then unless you have somebody that's there that can do that for you, then you're
Mm-hmm.
stuck. You know what I mean? Like, so just what I did, I know that I'm gifted in networking and talking to people. Man, I started asking a lot of questions, just like, hey, what is the atmosphere of the churches out here? Like, this is why I knew what I knew about churches and Christian rap and stuff like that. Then I'm asking, like, what are some of the artists like, or what are some of the events that's going on? Like, really, you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to plan and map out certain things as you're, trying to create and hear what God is telling you to do, but you have to be proactive in going out to these places and just kind of um, scoping the land.
Yeah.
There's a person that's a pastor that want to be a pastor. They're going out talking to people, knowing what the spiritual climate is, like
Time it
knowing,
is.
you know what I'm saying. You're trying to do something on your own independently, then you got to do that and just find your tribe, find the right people. So that's how I found venues. That's how I'm still finding stuff because I'm going and networking at a different events, Christian events. Um, I'm just doing any and every show. Like now, I'm not doing any and every show because I've risen up a little bit to where I'm getting
Mm.
invited to different things that are secular too, but they're allowing me to do my Christian music. So that's a
Mm.
so I would just encourage somebody to scope out the land. You got to connect
Mm.
and work with people. If you're feeling called to do something in a different area, place that is not used to it, yeah, you need that so you can start to build what you're trying to do.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, man. So I like what you said, right? Networking, communicating, surveying the lay of the land, right? And another thing is too that I want to ask you, because typically when we're going to unfamiliar places, we're going to check or talk to people who we can relate to or we can familiarize ourselves with, and that's the church, right? So going there, it's like I got to get with the churches out here. But you said that the churches were more conservative because you grew up in a Pentecostal church, right?
Right,
So
right, right.
obviously, you had to deal with some of the distinctions, right? Some of the things that they probably wasn't really on board with. So what was the negotiating point? What did you had to basically present to them in order for you get the support from the churches in Canada?
Man, that's a great question, man. So what I feel like God kind of um, directed me to do was to not strictly make it a Christian rap concert solely by itself.
Mm,
But like, if you're trying to, you know, get involved or immerse yourself into a different culture, you kind of have to, you kind of have to do certain things that they're going to be able to relate to. I know there's a better saying for it as a quote that I kind of have in my head, but you kind of have to get what you want, you got to do some things that's going to appease them. That's going to, please them or make them at least open to what you're doing. Because me just,
yeah,
I want to do a straight Christian rap concert. Mm,
yeah.
I'm not saying that it wouldn't work, but my whole idea was,
You got
I'm,
to tread lightly.
yeah, but I'm not even, okay, so this is what, so I think how God kind of gave me this was just, it was genius. It's like, okay, you're not a known Christian rapper. You're trying to just spread the message and get your stuff out there. So what you're
Mhm.
going to do is you're going to partner with the churches because guess what? I would love to have people that are just rap fans and people that are in the world that like what I do. But I'm like, because the church is already kind of distant from it and don't really cherish it like that, connect with the churches,
Yeah.
know that it is a um, revival outreach.
Mhm.
You use keywords that like sparks a light bulb,
Yeah.
and you do something
Yeah.
different. Now they're like, oh, whoa, okay, like let me hear more about
That
this.
sounds familiar. Yeah.
revival outreach, but okay. But how I'm gonna do it, and this is what I'm telling them. We're gonna have praise and worship.
Okay.
I'll get another artist. Doesn't matter. They could be a rap artist, contemporary, whatever. And then I'm gonna headline the entire show.
Right.
We're gonna open it up with something that you guys are familiar with. So now that lets you know you're not just gonna be bringing in people that like Christian rap, but you can also invite people that love praise and worship.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
bring the two worlds together. And that's how I've never had anybody say no.
Hmm.
So that's how I know what God gave me that little when he gave me that play, obviously it's genius because you know what I mean. Everybody loves praise and worship, and I think they know that people like Christian rap. But if it's just solely that, how can you promote it to the church? Because
Yeah.
you want to partner with the church to let them know, like this is a concert that we want to be citywide. It's not just for your church; it's for everybody in the city to know about. But we want them to also get used to knowing that Christian rap is also another tool that can bring in the next generation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think why these places have liked it. The only times I've ever had people, I guess it wasn't a no, but it just didn't work out with their schedule. But everybody
Yeah.
loves the idea. And
Yeah.
because I've done it that way, I'm able to get in, you know what I'm saying? To church. That's what's been happening.
Yeah, yeah. That's good. You just had to dress it up to make it
Yeah,
sound
yeah,
good.
yeah.
That's a little window dressing. Ain't nothing wrong
Yep,
with that. Sometimes you
yep.
got to do that, right? Because you want something to sound appealing to the ear. Because they kind of like Christian rap. Oh, we don't do that over here. But then you said, well, this is going to be more of worship, right? And kind
Yeah.
of reminding them at the end of, yeah, that Christian rap is still worship, but we're also going to add other elements as
Mm.
well. So that's good, man. I know somebody listening to this is definitely to say and try to bang on the door and say, we're going to do it my way or else, right? But Philippians 2:4 says to not only look out for your own interests, but look
Right,
out for the interests of others. You know what I'm
right,
saying? So that's important. And you
right.
still there?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you-
Turn up the it's a little low. Turn up the volume just a little bit.
All right. Okay. Is that good now?
Just a little bit more, a little bit more.
I don't know what happened, but is it good now? Because you had cut out for like 10 seconds. My volume
Okay.
was it's been on the same level the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we good. Yeah, so that's
Okay.
good, man. So as you're now you're doing a lot of the city tour. You're bringing CHH, Christian hip hop. You're bringing your style to Canada. What has been the most surprising thing ministering through the Light Up the City tour, using Christian hip hop as a tool in Canada?
Man, I would have to say the older people,
Mm-hmm.
like ones in their 40s, 30, I'll say late 30s to 50s. They've been the ones that have surprised me the most because they are the ones that you're trying to get the permission to do things at. Like you're like for you to bring it in, those are typically the people on the church board members,
Mm-hmm.
the decisions. Some of them are the pastors, youth pastors, whatever, whatever
Mm-hmm.
they hold. They've been the ones coming up to me saying like, "Wow, like I didn't know that you could minister like this." And
Mm-hmm.
and this is why every time I'm talking to the church, I'm telling them that this is more than a concert. I'm like, of course we're gonna get hype. Of course we're gonna turn up. We're gonna get lit for God. But I think, and I guess I can say it now because people have said it just by seeing me. I mean, people have, people believe that I'm an evangelist. I believe I'm an evangelist. So I would say if I were to compare myself as a rapper to someone, in terms of how they minister, I would say KB. So I'm
KB.
hype, I'm
Yo.
hype, but there's a lot of times where, bro, I could preach.
Mm-hmm.
And like what I mean by that is that after a song is done, like I really let the Holy Spirit lead. I mean, I haven't gotten to the point where I do a whole entire set where I barely stop to talk. Because I know if you go to these concerts, and I
Mm-hmm.
ain't no nothing wrong with it, but you get like 12 songs, you're doing a whole entire scripted set. And
Mm-hmm.
my set, it's halfway scripted,
Mm-hmm.
obviously the songs, but like when I feel led after a song, I feel the spirit coming up on me to say something that is going to
Mm-hmm.
minister and be edifying and powerful. I will say it right then and there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why the older folks are like, man, what you're saying, they get more of what I say than just the rap because then they connect it together. Like
Mm-hmm.
literally, like, and at my concerts, keeping it real. And I think that this is good. Like I get about 100, over 100 to 150 on average.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty, bro. I'm
That's
just saying
pretty
out loud.
good.
In
That's
different places that don't know me at all. And it's
yeah.
because when I partner with the church, they invite their members to come out and stuff like that.
Right.
But anyway, like those people that come, they are saying those things, and I'm like, man. So it's hitting the older people too. The younger people like it. Obviously, I feel like they're touched, they can connect with it. But the older
Mm-hmm.
people, they're like, whoa, like this is good. Like I didn't know. Like I was hesitant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's there's impact for sure. There's impact for sure. Um,
Right. Right.
and so I definitely love what's happening from that aspect.
Right. So what has been the response from the younger generation?
They, man, I mean, yeah, it's been amazing. They're like, I've never seen anything like this before. Cause bro, I'm doing a concert, bro. I put on a show. Like this
Yeah.
is not me just coming up. Like I try to do it like the real thing because I feel like I am when preparation meets the purpose of calling that you're already called to before you get to different levels. I want to make sure that I'm preparing myself as if I'm doing it at like a Rolling Loud, at a big conference in the States and stuff like that. And I'm from the States. And I
Yeah.
can't nobody there's people that know me that I rap, but I don't think they even know the impact I'm really having over here. So like
Mm-hmm.
the response from the kids are just like, whoa, and I'm local.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what happens is, and when I say local, like I go to all different cities, like hours away. So they're
Mm-hmm.
just, whoa, like we just don't see enough of this. Yeah, we see it once a year when we
Mm-hmm.
on a conference and we invite KB or Hovey, but they don't see it enough.
Yeah.
Oh, like this is a real thing because they know they're from the States. Like, and I
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
uh, I think when they see it, more organizers I think are hearing more about me from these conferences that are held in Canada because
Mm-hmm.
this person is local and he's doing this on his own. But then, the kids like it, but then in terms of like it translating, I think that's when it gets political.
Mm.
So where like
Expand on that a little bit more.
it gets political because now I can say that I'm an American, but if I don't got like 100,000 K listeners, or
Mm-hmm.
if I don't have, I don't know, like 30 to 50,000 followers or more, then it's like, even though it's for God, I don't think that you're going to have much more of an impact than a rapper that we bring from the States. When actually, bro, I done been in like 30, 40 schools. I've performed a lot of places over here. And I minister the word. I'm giving substance where, because Canadians can be very fickle. They talk about how we like to vet everybody, meaning like they vet you, they're checking your stuff, making sure that you're like legitimate in terms of bringing the gospel, you're not living a hidden life, like you're social.
Mm.
But then some of the people that I've seen them bring, and I don't care, like, but it's like y'all being harder on me, and my name is spreading around in terms of the impact
Mm.
I'm having, but then it's political because of the other stuff that I said that they are looking at you
Yeah.
betting you. They're looking at the numbers. But then the crazy part is this year. So I'll tell you this just as a testimony. My first big conference I got invited to in March, 1,200 people, and they were like, I mean, you would have thought I was like a Hovio, Lecrae, or whomever. But my songs
Mm-hmm.
are popping. They're easy to sing to. They're very catchy, very hooked, and I know how to rock a crowd. So that's my thing. I performed all my life of basketball. So my outgoing personality when it comes to the stage, and I told you I've been directing and singing since I was playing drums since I was 2 to 5.
Yeah, yeah.
Natural, like God given. But when you're in a place where it's like, they're so used to bringing this, now it becomes political, where they, still don't pick you, not even to open up. I think that stuff is
Mm.
changed now because again, my name this year is where things have starting to blossom just as an artist, not even light up the city, just as an artist. When I went to that conference, I got a call the next day from somebody in Vancouver, British Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we heard about you at this conference. They only gave me 15 minutes, but it was like, we heard about you. We want you to be a headliner in September of 2026. I mean, they're paying me good. I mean, now think about it. I am not a huge artist, right?
Yeah.
But they realize that you're an artist in Canada and you're doing stuff like this. They told me they was trying to get Forrest Frank and Miles Minnick, and they wouldn't come. So to even know that I'm in that same, realm of them thinking of inviting somebody like me after they saw my stuff, thinking, oh yeah, like we want you. We prayed about it because I was gonna have to say no to it because I have a baby coming, and I was like, man, this would probably be one of the
Wow.
biggest shows ever. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no now unless you guys are able to change the date. They prayed about it like for a whole week, and they said we felt led that we need to move it because God wants us to bring you. So when I see things differently,
Mm.
I know that there's hope and promise. It's just that it hasn't trickled all over Canada like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I got you. Wow, that's
But
awesome,
they still
man.
could have got. Because my point is, Forrest Frank said no. It had to do with money, and they told me the straight up truth. It had to do with money with them, and it's
Sure,
like,
sure.
but then I can kind of have like a low key beef with them internally, like dog, like y'all know, people don't do concerts in these areas, and they're gonna have like 1,500 people there, and y'all worried
Yeah.
about the bag when y'all get in the bag everywhere.
Right,
So
right.
now, are you really about ministry? Like, I'm not saying that you're not, but is it more money
Mm,
than ministry? Because
mm.
you could impact and touch souls in a whole nother place you've never been to that already have the people. What's fine? What's $10,000 less than what you get? Like, it's very political, bro. So when they got me, I was like, man, of course. Oh, you was gonna give me what you was gonna give them, but like
Mm-hmm.
a little bit less. Thank the Lord. Thank you. Thank you so
Right.
much, God, for thinking of me. And now I feel like by taking this event in September, I think the Lord is going to bless it and it's going to just help expand what
Right.
I've been trying to accomplish. Like I see different lights that gives me hope, but like just as of now, like when you ask me different questions, I'm like, man, there's a lot that I'm kind of like still trying to work through, but God still has things that He's showing me. Like this is why I want you in here.
Right. So what's the name of this event and what's the date in September?
Man, it's called Youth Fest.
Youth
Youth
Fest.
Fest
Okay.
is September 11th and the 12th.
Okay.
And I'm the headliner, right? So
Okay.
now, now when I'm doing this stuff, I'm like, yo, I'm trying to bring my best. I've already been bringing my best, but I'm like I told you, even at my small concerts, bro, I have the graphics, I
Mm.
have visuals, I the intros. It's like you had a real concert, like a real.
Mm.
And so I guess the disappointing thing sometimes is when like, yo, y'all like going to secular concerts, have a good time. Y'all like going to other concerts that's Christian, that's not rap, having a good time. But then y'all
Mm.
complain about not having anything for the youth that's like promoting Christ, that's hype or whatever. And
Yeah.
I'm bringing that. So to go to places that already have the people established, and all I gotta do is bring in the presentation. It's easier that way. It is easier that way.
Mm.
Just want to get
That's
invited to more of those environments that already have the crowd, and then you can
mm.
do your thing. You know what I mean?
Mm. Man, that's good, man. So you're talking about the concerts and how you present your concerts and stuff like that. What would you say are some of the major differences? Because I want to talk about the music scene between Canada and the US. Now, when they come to a concert in the US, we kind of know what to expect, especially when it comes to like Christian hip hop, right? Or just music in general. But when it comes to Canada, what are some of the differences when it comes to like a concert, right? Or a music experience, such as what you're going to do or what you're doing now, between Canada and the US?
Uh, they're just not as, I think, from their parents' generation of church and like
Hmm.
being expressive, because they come from more of Canada had derived on an Anglican church mentality, where it's more like just Anglican. If you know what Anglican is, the Anglican church is a little bit more very conservative, very contemporary. Now, I wouldn't say
Yeah.
contemporary, just in terms of their praise and worship. They learn
Yeah.
about God, they're Christians, but they're not as excited and passionate,
Yeah.
right? So the States is more of a, I would say, it was more expressive. Of course, you have Anglican churches and other churches, but it's more expressive in a way where you feel like you have freedom to praise and worship God, and that is in
Hmm.
opera. And so over here is different; it's way more conservative. Um, so when you go to a concert, sometimes it's like, unless that church you go to in Canada has
Hmm.
has groomed and has trained like the congregation. Listen, you could be expressive in your praise and worship, have fun in God, like praise and
Hmm.
worship God. You know what I'm saying? Then you have to sometimes hype them up.
Yeah.
And man, if you don't have enough to praise and worship God about on your own, and you need somebody to hype you up, this is even in praise and worship. So don't even say Christian rap. We're talking about
Right.
churches that have their own praise and worship group. And the problem is the only time that they actually get hype is when
Mm.
we bring over the Americans. And again, I'm American, but it's so funny because if we're not bringing American artists
That are
or
well known.
that are well known, man, you
Mm.
could be super hot and good. Your stuff could be fire. Depending on what church you go to and or who you are, they're just kind of like, real passive and stuff like that. But I
Yeah.
but I make sure that I make sure when I do my concerts, I make sure I bring the energy every time, because you never know who's watching. You never know.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what I've seen it play out that way when people have seen me like, you're just this, you're just that. And from the looks of it, it only looks like about 30 people are hyped, but there's some that's just watching and like, this is infectious. Like, we need this. The ones that do know that they want stuff like this, they see
Yeah.
it and then they call you on their own and say, like, look,
Mm.
I love what you did. Because you gotta
Mm.
think about it, man. Not every church, not every person has the same type of expression to God. They do know that they want people to be
That's
excited.
true.
So the ones that do see it, when I talk to them, it's funny because I talk to people that say the same things like me that are Canadian, and they're frustrated with it too. But when the
Mm.
country is kind of built on this conservative, like, whatever, I've been in the
Yeah.
here where it's so dry. I'm like, bro, I'd rather go to a small church that is fired up for God instead of being in this
Mm.
that got 6, 7, 800 people, and it's like nobody even got their hands up. It's just like, yeah, bro.
Mm.
So yeah, and people know that once you come here and start experiencing it, and like I think more the black churches are not like that because we're more expressive. But your Pentecostals, the one that be running the big conferences and the one that be having a lot,
Yeah.
some of them aren't aren't as advertised, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
No, but I mean that's funny because you're very Pentecostal coded, right? Because
yeah,
that's the type of energy that y'all bring. When it comes to church, when it comes to events, Pentecostal churches, man, they're going to tear the roof down, man. So I think Canada is trying to embrace that energy that you're bringing, because in the U.S. you go to a concert, everybody's arms up, everybody's ready to worship, everybody's ready to express to their praise and worship to God outwardly, right? That's the expectation. So that's why I asked, how is it in Canada, especially when you say that the country is built off just being conservative? So I'm sure people in there just hands in their pocket, reciting the words and all that.
Let me
It's
be
no,
clear. They're
yeah.
conservative in their praise and worship for God, but it's a very much liberal nation, which is
Ah,
spiritual warfare, bro. It's spiritual
mm,
warfare that you're dealing with. It's deeper than just stuff on the surface. Because
right.
I say, like, I mean, Christians, they can be excited about going to a secular artist event, but then when it comes time to
Mm,
praise and worship God, you're in a more solemn state. And it's like, bro, like, are you kidding me?
yeah.
Like, you say you love God. So, and when you talk about the states, I like balance because
Mm,
I've been in churches where it's very charismatic and stuff is over the top, and I'm like, yo, like, some don't feel right. No, be
yeah.
expressive, but don't take it to the extreme where now stuff is starting to look weird, which is what
Mm,
Canadians make fun of Christians in America for, because they're like, yeah, it don't take all that, because I haven't seen people that are very expressive that go over the top. So, but that's why I say, listen, we get balance, bro. I'm a person
mm-hmm.
balance in anything. So when I show you the balance, listen, I can be hype with some songs, and now I'm giving you the substance of scripture right in the middle of my concert, in a more in a entertaining way. You know what I'm saying? More of a Pentecostal way. Like after I'm done with a song, I'm saying God is trying to bring you guys through, and this is why I write
Mm,
it. And
mm,
you're engaged. You know what I'm saying? And but some of them just not used to that. But from what I've seen, people are getting used to it. They just haven't seen enough of it to like embrace it 100% and realize this is normal.
yeah, yeah. Got you, man. That's good. That's good. So I want to ask you this question, right? Because we're getting close to closing. What do you think Canada still needs in order for Christian hip hop to grow?
We need real infrastructure. We need ones that are like me, but on the side of wanting to be a uh, promotional uh, marketer. We need we need more people that are in radio that are trying to push, Christian rap music, Christian R&B, Christian soul, whatever. We need more people in those fields that are like, listen, like we there's so many gifted talented people doing this stuff. We need a voice. We need more of a platform. We need more management. Everything that the states have,
Yeah,
what Canada needs. We got artists. We have artists. You know what I'm saying? The sad part is a lot
infrastructure.
of artists start to move that like they give up, and I'm not gonna say some of them give up. I'm not gonna say give up. Sorry, some of them stop and go to the states, and there's a percentage of them that have become successful, and then there's another percent that just hasn't. But they do have better opportunities. But
Mm-hmm.
they have to leave Canada to do it. And I'm like, God, I got married to a Canadian. You haven't opened up any doors or gave me any signs that you want me right now back in the States, even though I want to be. The fleshly part of me is like, I know what you've done here, but if I was in the States, the connections that I have, and I was doing what I was doing here, it's like God wants me here for a reason. So that's why I
Mm,
struggle with it, because I'm only gonna move when God opens that door. I'm not gonna force my way and just say, "Hey, fam, we moving here," because I'm trying to chase. Because then it look like I'm just chasing a rap game instead of chasing a calling. A calling would be I'm getting a call from God, from somebody that He's using, that He wants
yeah.
to go to a place, right? I'm like, I'm too old at this point. I'm too old for that. Like I'm young, but I'm still too old to just be chasing something like that that has no no evidence of God like really being in it from the get go. So that's why I would
Mm,
say it's easier to be in the States doing it, but everything that Canada needs is what the States have
mm,
besides the artists. I don't know if you ever heard of Ryan Ofo. Ryan, he used to be on Maverick City. RY,
mm,
if you put him right now, you probably have heard a song from him, didn't even know it's from him. Canadian, Christian, uh, contemporary artist. Moved.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of artists from here that have moved and that have become more successful. And then you know what Canadians do? They then
Mm-hmm.
bring them back and then try to claim them. And you know what? I'm not shy to say this stuff on your podcast because I'm not,
God, please, man.
but I'm not downing Canadians. I'm saying embrace us when you know that we are being used by God and have a platform instead of like downplaying it. And then we feel like we're not being appreciated and we have to leave to then when we get bigger, you come back and then you try to appreciate us. That's what they do.
Mm.
I said this on another platform. It was a Canadian platform where I was like, churches and artists, let's bridge together, let's come together. And I mean, so many artists from here, you know, was just sharing it, reposting it because it's true. From the gospel artists to the
Yeah,
contemporary guy, you know what I'm saying? All them artists. So yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I've never heard
Wow.
nobody say it. I've never heard anybody else say it. So that's why I'm like, God, you're opening up doors for me with different organizations. I am doing a tour, but it's like I'm guessing I'm wanting more people to follow the movement because it is a movement. I've been to like 4 or 5 different provinces. They call it provinces instead of states.
Provinces. Yep.
But it's like I guess you're wanting to see the numbers, like, and that's the thing, like, and I think God is still trying to mature me just in general because you want to see the numbers skyrocket and people following you and like following the movement. But I think because I'm on a platform and I'm saying these things and I don't hear nobody else saying it, I'm like, God, I know you trust me, and I don't want to give up if I'm super close to like something break. I don't
Mm.
know. You don't know.
Mm.
And that's what I'm actually kind of scared of and just kind of stopping the Light Up the City movement because that movement in itself is what's kind of sparking attention. But I don't see the number. You know what I'm saying? Our fleshly mind, we're looking at numbers.
Right.
And but I've had
Right.
different concerts that's been affected and love it. But you're looking at,
Right.
oh man, in this city, this should be going viral, that should be going viral. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to figure out all these ways to make stuff like expand when the way that God maybe wants to expand it is different than how you're doing it. And you just got to keep trusting them enough. So,
That's good, man. So I'm gonna ask you this, right? Because your father, husband, your family resides in Canada,
mhm.
and you mentioned something about evidence, right? Wanting to see numbers, wanting to see God act and move, in regards to how you're going forward with the Light Up the City tour, right? But I'm gonna ask you this, and when did God show you? What was that moment when he showed you, I want you to stay right here. I'm doing something here. What was that moment and how did you, and in that moment, you had to share that with your family, right? You had to share that with your wife. You had to share that with your family. Like, God wants me here because of this specific moment. What was that moment that you always hold on to that allows you to continue to remain faithful?
Man, there's been, can I keep it? All I can do is be transparent here.
Keep it
He
100.
keeps, he keeps showing me moments
Mm,
of encouragement because you got to think about it. It's so much different than just being here in the States. The moments he keeps showing people coming out of nowhere that are like that are of influence in terms of organizations and people that are like really wanting to be a part of what I'm doing. And that's when I know it's bigger than me. So these organizations that have kind of partnered with me that are doing the same tours for like a KB and Hovey. It's just a Canadian version. So like I don't know if you ever heard of American Bible Society. Um, we have something
mm,
called Canadian Bible Society, and then it's another organization called IJM. They do human trafficking.
mm,
They just did KB's tour and they just did Hovey's tour. But they partner with me on my tour, right? And they know like we don't have Christian rap here like that, but they do know that they do partner with those people. Every time like God is bringing someone in that's heard of me, whether it's these organizations that have conferences or whatnot. I think that's what is like, you know what, maybe I am doing the right thing because these are the key holders, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, because I know that I'm affecting people when I do what I do. And but that's not enough of an indicator to let me know, like, continue doing this because I don't have to rap to be able to minister to people. I could just do it on my daily thing. So we're trying to simulate, keep going. Why am I continuing to keep going in the light of the city ministry, right? So when it comes to that, I think it's the organizations and then places and churches that are, pretty much seeing what I'm doing and giving me different things.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening because if it wasn't for that, again, I could minister to people without rapping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I could, but
Yeah.
because he's giving me this gift and I'm doing something that is like, I would say revolutionary in a way because there's not many and it's not being done in this way. It's going under the radar, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's continuing to let me see, okay, he wants me to do this because besides that, these organizations could put their money in other places. And it's not like they're giving me crazy money where I'm able to eat and whatever. No, but it's like
Yeah.
they're buying in and they're like, man, you keep doing this, we're going to continue pouring into what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm blessed to hear that, man. And I just want to encourage you, brother, man. Continue to do the good work that you are doing, Canada. I love your transparency. I love your honesty because you talked about the highs and the lows, some of the struggles, and that's one of the reasons why I did this podcast because I want to hear your journey. I don't only want to hear the good things that are happening, but I also want to hear the struggles, right, of many of you artists who are really trying to push and advance the kingdom. So, brother, I really appreciate you sharing today, man. I want to ask you 3 last questions before we jump off.
I'll
So, I
make it
want to
quick.
ask.
I'll make it quick.
I just it's all good, man. You talk very well. I know you love to talk, baby. That's
Yeah.
that's cool. So, my first question is, what is your favorite verse? That's my first question. My second question is, what projects do you have coming up? And then my third question is, what is your dream collab?
Man, okay, first verse, man, it's really between three, but I'll pick one of the three. Um, all things work together for the good for those who are called according to his purpose. All
Yeah,
all things. Um,
yeah, that's good.
Second one, I have an EP coming out. I'm still figuring out the date, but I think it's going to be this summer for sure. It's called Full Circle. Full Circle.
Full circle. Okay.
My life is full circle. Everything that I should have been doing back then when I was playing college ball, still rapping, ministering to people, and actually living out what I preach. God redeemed me and allowed me to do it. And I'm doing everything that He wanted me to do back then, doing it now. I felt
Mm,
lots of full circle moment, right? Full circle. So
yeah.
that'll be coming out. And then Dream collab, man, I think I'll say right now it'd be like KB.
Yeah. I figure you say
It, but
that.
it's funny because it's kind of changed. Like I would have probably
mm,
said Lecrae. Like I like Lecrae, still in
mm,
like all those people. But because people have been seeing me more here, like an evangelist rapper, and not just straight hype, and then you go home. I remind people here of like a KB. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? And that's why I think why I stick out differently than just a regular Christian rapper here. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope, man. So, and where can people follow you at, man? Your social media handles. What are those?
Man, people can follow me at Ant Lee Jr. ANTLEEJR on Instagram and then TikTok. You could do the same thing. It's just an underscore before Ant Lee Jr. And then
Okay.
Facebook, the same deal. So I'm just on those three platforms.
Okay. And you have your music on Spotify, Apple Music.
Music is everywhere. Yup, Ant Lee. I'm on every.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, hey man, thank you, man. Everybody, make sure y'all stay tuned for his EP that's coming out full circle. He said it's gonna be dropping sometime in the summer. So y'all make sure that y'all stay tuned for that, man. And that's it for the Be Holy podcast, man. I want to make sure that y'all make sure that y'all like, share, and subscribe. Also, get our digital gift. It's 5 steps on how to become a Christian rapper. And also, we have a Patreon, Holy Ground. So make sure that you stay tuned for our Patreon and join our Patreon, as we're going to be doing some amazing things in there as well. This is the Be Holy podcast. As we said, First Peter says, for he who calls you is holy, so you also be holy in all your conduct. So I'll always say, be holy, live holy, keep it holy. Ant Lee, thank you for joining the pod. We out, y'all.